Okay, we got this 65-inch RCA LED TV, and this is actually probably the first time I've had a TV like this this particular model RCA. The model on this one is a SLD, Sam Larry David, 65, A as in Alpha, 55RQ. And pretty much with this set is we go ahead and hit the power button, and this actual standby light on this TV is going to zoom in on this. You can barely see it if you're like standing up. You have to be looking like almost up under the TV. So what I'm going to do is actually hit the power on the TV. And you see it changed to blue. Okay, and we'll zoom out, and I want you to watch what happens. Did you catch that? The screen is actually flashing, okay, and no signal. And I'll hit menu again, see if it flashes again. There we go. See that? And I can definitely see something there. It was pretty prominent at first, maybe I'm looking at the wrong angle, but I can definitely see something on the screen. So that lets me know that we have a backlight problem. So let's go ahead and tackle this TV. Like I said, I never worked on this particular model, so it's going to be my first one. And this particular model was made in 2015, so they probably bought it in 2016. So it's really about 4 years old, maybe. Pretty nice looking set on the outside. So let's see what's to it. Okay, I got my TV on the table. One thing when you're doing a TV this size and you're laying it flat is make sure that the TV is pretty much up before you lay it down. You know, it's best to have two people. Just so used to doing this. Don't try to come up with an angle with it, because what's going to happen is you're going to crack the bottom of the screen. So make sure that it's even and then set it down. So like I said, it's best with two people. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the usual thing. I'm going to actually take off the stand, okay? Looks like two screws here on both sides. As you can see, it should come right out, hopefully. Oh, you know what? I believe this one has 3 screws. Okay, let's see what the problem is here. Okay. This one you actually have to take the stand, this part off, the 2 silver screws. Same with this one. Okay, and there's a screw up underneath there that holds the leg for the stand. Okay. Okay. Just take the 2, you can leave the black one in. Okay. Come on. Okay. Then there's a big black screw right up in there. You can see that. And then you take that off. All right, there's other black screws that we took out. That wasn't for the stand, but we have to take those out anyway. As you can see, I'm prepared. I have a number 2 on my drill, another longer number 2 in case I get in some of these holes. Okay, and I got some number 1 bit, right? So I'm going to take the rest of these screws off. This looks like 3 pieces. Piece here, and this main piece right here. So I'm just going to take the screws out. You know how I do that. If I run into any problems, I'll let you know. Okay, now obviously this TV, like I said, the back comes apart in 3 pieces. Took that piece off, and I want to attempt to take the other end piece off, because obviously those pieces have to come off first. Just from working on TVs, that's pretty much how they're made. Take the end pieces off first, and then take the middle piece off. But when I went to take the piece off on the other side there, it wouldn't come up. Okay, for some reason, I got all the screws out of it, and as you can see, it is stuck here on this. Remember our little standby light, and I guess the infrared detector is in here for the remote control sensor. So there's obviously 2 screws I see right here on the bottom of that. Light moves, and quite naturally we're going to have to, we got wires here. Okay, there we go. As you can see, we just unplug it right here, and then that part should come off. And actually I'm going to leave this on for right now. I don't remember how to patch. Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, so what I did, I just took that off and I put the screws, the actual screws, I'll just put it back in the chassis down here so I won't lose them or misplace them. And on the other side here, I'm also going to remove the keypad with the buttons. Okay. If I had the remote control, I probably wouldn't need to do. I probably would just leave that on, just unplug it, because I've got my light plugged back in. Okay, with this infrared remote sensor on there. But I'm just going to take these 3 screws out, and hopefully it should come right out. And the reason, of course, I'm doing that in case I want to, turn the TV set on before I reassemble the whole entire TV, just to test it out, right? So let's see. Put these over here for right now. Okay, just pry it up from the bottom. That's it. Came right out. Okay. Be careful when you're flipping the TV around that this or the standby light remote control sensor is not up under the TV, up under the screen. Okay, hopefully we should be turning this big TV around too many times. This table is actually kind of small. This is a regular car table. It's pretty sturdy. I got it from Menards. You can get it from Home Depot, whatever. And I think it's about like 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. Maybe it's a little bit bigger than that. Between 2.5 and 3 square feet all the way around. So like I said, just be careful when you're moving this around, or if you're leaning on it, be careful. Make sure that the bottom part of the TV or the top is not, like overlapping that much, because you don't want to, crack the screen. Okay, so man, I'm always checking that. This table is probably about the perfect size for a 65-inch. Anything bigger, you probably want to use a kitchen table, a bigger table like I do. Just get like 2 of these tables and put them together, and make sure that you always have somebody with you that can help you. Okay, last but not least, that was a job, getting the stand off, getting the keypad out, the buttons, taking both sides. Okay, what's next? So let's take this middle section off. Okay, I got all the screws off. The back seems pretty loose. I'm not going to just pull it up yet, because I believe there are some wires going into the back cover. that we need to remove. And just so you know, okay, what were these? Okay, these were from the. We removed the keypad, so make sure that you just put those back in there or whatever. But these only have two different size screws. Looks like you have your metal screws, and then you have the 6 plastic, or actually that's 5 plastic screws. One got mixed up, as you can see, and those screws actually, plastic screws went into these holes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, we thought those were the holes that were holding the stand, but all the other screws are the same. Okay, so before we proceed any further, I know there's something on the back cover that we need to get off, and quite naturally there is. Okay, I don't know why they even did this. The speakers, we don't need one. Just unplug those. Okay. Okay, and what else did they have? What the heck is that? Okay, that was real crazy. That was just insane. Okay, this is for. Wait a minute. What is this? Okay, this is for the keypad. Okay. Oh, okay. Just one plug. Okay, for the keypad. Once we get ready to do that, but for right now, whoops. Okay. And one. See what I almost did? See? You see? This is for the Wi-Fi module. Right there, that's the Wi-Fi module attached to the back of the TV. Okay, all right, now we have our back off successfully after like 7 hours, right? We're going to look for, first things first, look for our LED plug on the power supply, which here is located right here. Okay, just like the other RCAs, 2 lines, okay? One here on the right, the red and white one, and one on the left, the black and white one. Okay, so we'll just take those out and check those, okay, with our LED checker. And I'm assuming the red is positive, so we'll try it that way first, but some of these, will fool you. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay. Actually, the red is actually where you put your negative lead at, and so on and so on, right? Okay. We'll go for our first line. We'll put red on red, black on black. Okay. Nothing. Meter's working. That's okay. Nothing. Okay, we'll try the second line. I'll put my positive on the other red one and my black one on. Now that one actually came up, and I do see backlights through the back of the TV. Okay, as you can see, if you look right here, okay, right where my finger is right there, look right there at this little plastic piece going through the TV, and 193, okay. And I'll go to the other one. I can tell this TV has a shitload of LEDs at 193 volts. It's just on one line. Okay, so it's probably pretty much made like the other RCAs. And as you can see, that is absolutely open. There's nothing lit up, nothing. Okay, it's at 300. That's the open range for this meter. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to disconnect my LDBS cable, going to, this one uses a separate, I think they call it an FRC board. Okay, and then it goes from here to the TCON board. And I'm not sure exactly what they use that for. I guess it's with the scanning, or maybe this is a 4K, maybe they have to use that board, I'm not sure. It's called an FRC board, frequency something. If anybody has any idea or any clues, make sure you let me know in the description. But that is coming from the main board. Usually this LDVS cable coming from the main board goes right to the TCON board down here, but it goes to this module right here. But anyway, I'm just gonna maybe I'm gonna see what should I do. I think because it's still connected right here, you know what? I'm just gonna disconnect this one. This should be okay for right now. Okay, because what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna disconnect the cables from the T-con board going to the driver boards right here at the bottom, right at the T-con board. That way I can make sure that there's no voltage coming through this tab. This one seems to be stuck on some paper. Okay, so we'll take that off. No need to, you know, it's just a plug right there. See, big deal. Next thing, I'm going to have to see how the driver boards look, because we're going to have to take the bezel off, the outer bezel. So we'll remove this paper here. Okay, these feet, I'm sorry, these little feet here for this little where our little stand mount seems to be okay. So we're gonna leave those on there, and let's see what we got here. Okay, I do see that we do have some screws in the bottom of this bezel right here, and it looks kind of weird there. It looks like it actually comes a piece right here. Okay, all right. What the heck's going on? Okay, so what I'm just do for now. I'm going to sit back and think about how I'm going to take these outer screws out, okay, first, all right, because this may be like the other RCA in which the actual hole, if you remember I did a video on another RCA probably a couple weeks ago, I'm not sure, but instead of taking the bezel off and then get to the screen, the actual whole back comes, this whole chassis comes up, and the screen and the outer bezel are still laying on the table. Okay, so I'm hoping this is not like that, but you never know. And while I'm looking at this, these driver boards won't even come out unless, yeah, this really does look like some pretty cheap shit, but okay. Okay, you see what I mean when I said this about the screws? Okay, there's some screws on the bottom too, but what I'm just gonna do, I'm just gonna take the screw right here off each end. Now this whole piece right here, look like this. Okay, and there's screws going all the way across, and the same thing on the other end. The piece cuts off and then the bezel completes. So for right now, we'll just remove the screw here, right there, okay, on the outer bezel, and the rest of the screws all the way around the outer bezel, and we'll see what we come up with. Okay. Okay, now I took these two silver screws off on each end, and the outer bezel screws going all the way around. It seems like it's a little loose, and I don't think that this top part pulls out by any means necessary. It might though, I don't know, that feels awfully, no joke, that feels awfully, like it actually comes right out. But either way it goes, I think it's better if I go the other way. And I'm just gonna flip the TV set over. Don't worry about this, these things are high enough where it won't crush the circuit board or anything like that. So just gonna carefully do it because I have the screws are loose. Okay, wish me luck. Move my table out just a little bit. Okay, should unplugged. Okay, I'm just gonna flip it over very carefully. And see. I got a good grip on it before I actually flip it all the way around. Okay. All right. Yes, it does. Okay. Which might be cool, maybe. I don't know. But I know I have to take the driver boards loose before I attempt to move anything on the TV. Okay. Or actually just unclip them. Right here, make sure they're folded out and hanging freely. Okay, so I'm just gonna do my little mechanic work here and get up under here and do that. But yes, I do believe this whole entire thing comes right off, which I can probably use my suction cups to pull that off, maybe. So what I went ahead and did is actually took this piece off on the bottom to see if I can lift these up a little more to get a better view of the driver boards and how to disconnect them. because quite naturally they put some sticky stuff on them, so you have to, which is stupid. They got the sticky stuff on there and the clips. But I'm glad I did that, because check this out. When I did that, and I lifted that black paper, this black film up right here, okay, that's covering the driver boards, I noticed right here, you can see that now, I'm going to zoom in for you. Come on. You probably can't see it, but if you lift it up, there are 2 screws right here. On the other side, you can't see it. And this holding this. Oh, maybe it's not. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. You know what? Let's see here. But I don't think this plastic piece comes up. Anyway, what do I have to actually? But I need to get those off of there. So. Now I see what they mean when they say TV companies are really getting over on people, because when the TV breaks as far as something like this, they don't want you to fix it. They just want you to spend another, $700-800 on a new TV, which is absolutely insane. Come on. And they really don't want you to pull the screw out because they got this thing in it. Okay, so let's solve this problem right now. Let's go ahead and pull this off. They got some more on this end. Be careful not to pull these driver boards, force them out, break these rubber connectors. Okay. Okay, the screws finally did. One of them did anyway. Okay. I don't know if those need to come out or not, but we'll do it just for safety purposes. Okay, this thing's actually got me sweating down here. Okay, I just figured out, just pull these things holding these driver boards, these rubber things, just pull the whole thing off. Be careful. That way, now they're hanging freely, okay, on both sides. Okay. Want to make sure of that, because I'm actually going to try to lift the screen up from right there and see if that's possible. Probably not. Okay, now it seems obvious to me that this whole screen is going to come up, okay? So just to make sure that I don't get snagged the driver boards, especially on this thing right here in the middle, I'm just going to, like I said, these little brackets, just take those whole things off. Don't try to pry the driver boards away from there, because you're going to end up pulling something if I haven't already. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Going to take the driver boards up, not getting too close to the ribbon connectors. I'm just going to put it right here. I really want to bend this, but you don't have to make it too tight. Okay, put a little on here, right there, right there. Okay. I'm going to attempt to pull the entire screen off of this. I'm not going to pull the back cover off and leave the screen facing down on my table, because this one, unlike the other model, this one doesn't really have anywhere to grip it at. Okay, and so that's all we can go by. Hopefully it's a nice smooth transaction. Like I said, it's always better to do this with another person, but unfortunately I'm by myself. Practicing my social distance, right? I'm gonna make sure this side comes up, it's loose. Run this all around. The screen is actually very, very heavy. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this or not. With these suction cups, let's see. Okay. I hate that. That only one side. What is this? Okay. This is insane. Okay. Look at that. Okay, let's go forward. Something is obviously stuck at the bottom. We're not gonna let that discourage us, right? Two more of those screws are on this side. The screws at the very bottom. I see them now. Okay. It's actually two more. Yeah, there's one here, and then there's one here. Unlike the two that we took out in the middle. Okay. So, okay. There's one here. Okay. And we got the two that were right here in the middle. Both of these. Okay. Once we do that, we should be good. We should be good. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this up. Why? Golly, this is insane. I have no idea how that got down there. That also came off the screen. Okay, so we'll move this out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna mark my chassis. Okay, right there. Keep these screens together. This is going to be very weird, putting this back on, okay? It's not too bad. Pull off our white paper. Okay, we'll just loosen the edges first. We're just going to squeeze these out from the other end, the screen supports, and that should do it. The screen supports, they have some up here that are actually up under the paper, so we don't need to remove those, and they have some on top of the paper which you need to remove. And if you look on the bottom, oh, there's some black tape up under there, up under those screen supports. So we'll just go ahead and remove the tape and squeeze those out. Okay, I've got my screen supports out, the ones that need to come out, and paper comes off. Don't force it, just comes off pretty easily, not too bad. I'm gonna go from the other side now. Finally. Okay, believe it or not, I'm sure you believe me when I tell you only one bad LED. And it was actually the first strip that I checked. was open, and that is the strip right there, the very last strip toward the bottom of the TV, the very first LED. And I'll just do a little comparison check. It's actually, see if I can get down here to show you where the test points are at. See those two gold dots right there? And as you can see, there's a positive sign on this side. You can't see it on my camera, but that lights the entire strip. Maybe I should zoom out for you. It might work a little better. Okay, and we can test either each individual one that has a little test point next to each LED, and just go down the line. And if I come over here, these are actually 3-volt LEDs, just so you know. 2.8, 3 volts, same thing. Okay. I'll check the one next to it. Okay. As you can see, there are 10 LEDs on each strip. I went here, open. So when I went to the negative, nothing. So I'm going to put my positive on that one. Check the other one. That's good. I'm going to check the whole entire strip, all the way to the 10th one. So this one is open. That is our showstopper. We'll go ahead and pull that right up with our hot air, as usual. Okay, let's remove that. Okay, I've got my new LED right here. Okay. Okay, that came right off. Yeah, the big side is a positive and the skinny side is a negative. And on this one, just the opposite. So all we need to do is create this trace right here. Put a little flux on each side, just a little bit. Almost too much there. Going to place this into a good position where the smaller trace is barely touching the other side there. Okay, we don't want this to overlap. Okay, otherwise it will not light up. And it may also cause the TV to shut down. Okay. Take my soldering iron, put a little solder on the tip. This solder sucks. Whatever kind of solder this is, I don't know what kind of solder this is, but okay. Actually, it adhered to that pretty good. Okay. Check it out. Best way to test it is do not put your leads on the actual LED. Just put them on the test points around it. That way you know it's making a good connection. Voila. I like the whole strip. Everything is lit. 27.7 volts. Go to the next one. Okay, I'll just clean the flux up around that, and I'll put the the lens cover back on. Just take a little alcohol and a Q-tip or a piece of paper towel and just clean the excess flux up around there, because believe it or not, that will cause some smoke around the LED when it lights up. Okay. Put a little super glue on the edges. Just a dab. Okay. And just use this here. Turn it over. Try to center that exactly over the LED, the exact middle. Hanging off just a little bit, but just hold that down. And as you can see, that's it. Looks pretty centered to me. Okay guys, now all we do is put this piece back together. Put our white paper on the correct way, put our little stand-ups in for our screen supports, put our diffuser screens on, and then we'll try to figure out how to put together back that screen and that metal framing around it, and we should be good to go. But first I'm going to test fire this up before I do any of that, make sure everything is okay. Okay, I'm going to test fire it up, so all I need to do is plug in this wire here, which is located on the back cover. Okay, I'm just going to push this back, plug this back in, and okay, plug it in. Standby light is red. I'm going to hit power. Blue. Voila. We've got action. I guess you can't see that, but let me put it up again just so you can see it. There's no flashing. All the LEDs are lit. Turn back around and finish reinstalling our TV. Reassembling our TV. Right? Okay, I've got our white paper in there. We put our stand-ups in there. And it looks like there's one missing. I don't know. So I'm just improvise. I'm gonna use one I had left over from another TV, right? And I'm just gonna put some tape. And you don't have to do that. The only reason I'm doing that is because of that weird screen setup we got. I don't want any. I want it to be as even as possible. when I'm putting it on. Okay, see, it's not going anywhere, okay? And even if you break one of the little clips on the bottom of these, you can just put some tape on it like I did on this one. Just make sure that you don't break it, all of them, okay? All right, now for our diffuser screen, okay? It looks like this, something got wet in here in between. No big deal. So I'm going to center my thickest screen, the one that goes on the bottom. Center that first. And I see it's got some little things here. And I'm starting to think that we should actually put this inside of the actual screen, because I've got some notches here, but I don't know. There is no notches on this part of the TV. Okay, so we may have to rethink this. Maybe. So that is what may just happen, because there are absolutely no notches on this, so I have no idea if I'm putting this on even or not. Okay, so that settles that. Okay, so what I had to do was remove the chassis and put the screen on, because we're going to have to go the other way, just like I thought, and also give me an opportunity to see where this came from. Okay. Bracket right here. Okay, so this is what I figured out. I put my driver boards, I untaped them from the bottom, straighten them out, and I'm going to have to put this piece back on. Okay, remember this piece, which our standby light and infrared detector was connected to right here with these two screws, and that's in order for these brackets right here to line up, okay? Because remember, these were, I think, where our screws were at. And these holes here, holding that top, the chassis, okay? So see the screws. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fold those all the way over like that, okay? Line this back up with the holes, and trust me, it's not a crack, that's the wire on the ceiling, okay? I know it looks like it's a crack, and these holes should line right up, okay? Hopefully. And that way it's going to lock this bottom bracket in right here. It's going to lock all that in. So we put our top back on here, everything should fall in nice and even, hopefully. I'm going to start with my first two screens, three, however many it is, and we're just going to slide these right into the grooves. Okay, the grooves around this black outer bracket, okay? Getting a lot of fingerprints on here, so I should be wearing some gloves, but oh well. Hopefully you won't see it. Won't too much notice that. Okay. Put that in. There are also grooves for that, and that fell right into place. Okay guys, next is the chassis, and I am absolutely horrified of putting this back on right now. So I think I'm going to wait until I get some help. I forget this metal bracket goes on. So I'm going to put that on now, because as I'm looking at it, I can tell that this will go on before the back cover. Okay, because so just kind of even it out as best as you can. Okay. That's a little groove we have, a little separation from the top piece and the other one big piece. And we're just gonna put those screws back in, and then I'll wait till I get some help in the morning when somebody wakes up to put that back cover back on, or the back chassis. And I'm just gonna screw this for right now, make sure everything's intact. And I believe that is going to do it, hopefully. Okay, so it's the next day now. I actually got someone to help me put this back cover back on. And so what I realized after doing all that is that we actually did more work than we should have, but better safe than sorry. So first time doing one of these. And what I found out is this TV, the back chassis, actually does pull off from the screen, which you should lay flat and the screen stays stationary. And what I figured out is that what we have to do, these are our driver boards, right? Okay, and here we have these little clips on there. Okay, actually, and then, okay, so we got the sticky stuff on the driver boards that were on these little clips, which you can actually just peel right off. You don't have to, you know, unclip the driver board from it. You can just actually peel everything off. It's got some sticky, it's still pretty sticky. And then there were also some little sticky stuff on the little two pads on each driver board on the side. No big deal, right? Just peel those off. Be very careful when you do it. Don't force it off. Don't tear anything. But anyway, just remember after we took the back cover off, this black stuff, which I actually tore, I thought it was 2 pieces, now 3 pieces all of a sudden, okay, was over that. So basically all we had to do was take the back cover off, okay, right, and then pull this paper back, okay, and you might have, some kind of way you might have to take this off. You may have had to take this bottom plate off first, but nothing else, okay, and then unloosen the driver boards, pull them all the way down. That way, you could get to these screws. Okay, if I can zoom in right here. It's somewhere, right? Let me put my, okay, you can't see that one, but, so I got to mark. There's one there. Okay. And then there were 2 right there. Okay. And then there was a 4th one on the other side, one of that black piece. So once we pull that black paper off, pull loose the driver boards, then we could access the screws right here, okay? These screws, once we did that, we would pull all of the rest of the screws around the outer back chassis or the entire back cover, and then maybe with 2 people, take it off like this. One on this side, one on that side. You see it's still wants to come off pretty easily. So actually this one is actually easier to me as far as, well, not easier, but it's actually better because it has this steel frame around the outer bezel or around the TV period, and so this back cover comes out pretty good. That way it keeps from the actual screen assembly from bending and stuff. So that's all that we had to do, was pull these 4 screws out after we released the driver boards from the chassis, after we unmounted them or unstuck them or whatever. 4 screws, and the rest of the screws around the chassis and the back cover were lifted right up. That was it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this. I'm going to try to put this paper back on. I'm actually going to put these back on the driver boards. I'm going to put them on the boards first and stick them back to the chassis. I forget what they were. Next time I'll mark them, but shouldn't make any difference. It's just rubber and just kind of keeping them from, I guess, getting touching the metal, even though they still have some extra protection on the side. So we'll just put those on some kind of way, right? And be very careful when I do this. I don't want to. So there are actually one on each driver board. There's actually 4 driver boards. There's 2 here, okay, and then there's 2 more on the other side. And so I'm gonna put those back on both sides, okay. Push these back up. Make sure this tape right here that's sticking on there, make sure you put that back onto the metal. That's helping keeping it grounded, okay. And I'm gonna actually attempt to put this paper, I got it in order, I'm gonna actually put this paper kind of in between there as best as I can. If not, I'm really not too much worried about it, because what's going over this is plastic anyway, and we have these plastic holders. And then we'll see what happens. Okay, so what I did is I put the, like I said, first thing I did once I got the back cover on is put those 4 screws in the bottom while the driver boards were laying out, because that's the only way that you can get to them or put them back in. Then I push all the driver boards back up, put the sticky mount things back on there, and put the paper on here as best as I can. Probably don't need this, but it may be a barrier protection between those ribbon connectors going to the panel and this metal bar that I actually had to take off just to get down in here. So next time I have this, I'll actually make a note or drawing of how this paper actually goes, because there are some holes here on top that I line up with the hole in the chassis. As you can see, there's a hole there, and that lines up with a hole in the chassis, but no big deal. I'll just, I got as best as I could. And I'm going to put some more screws in here, and like I said, I had to take this metal bracket off to get down, and I'm going to put this bracket back on, okay. As you can see, when it goes on one way, sticky stuff is on that side. And just line up with the holes and put the screws back in there, and you should be all good to go. Okay, so I got my back cover on. I put this one side piece in with my keypad, and don't forget about the other side where you have to stick the, take this off and mount this, put this on the outside, plug it back in and mount it to the 2 holes right here, okay? So I'm just going to show you that we are in pretty good shape so far, right? No signal that was popping on and off, and I'm going to hit menu. So we definitely are in pretty good shape, so I'm going to put it back together. Okay guys, we got all the TV put back together. We put our stand on. As complicated as it was, we did finally get it on. Now we'll go ahead and fire it up. Lights blue. HDMI 1. Voila. Got our fire stick hooked up. And just check to see, make sure it clicks, check the sound. There we go. Okay, that's it guys. Hey guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these videos where I work on stuff like in real time.
Where are we? If I told you, I could answer them most.
Like I said, if you want to see more of these kind of videos, give me a like, give me a holler in the description, and make sure that you do subscribe. Big Dog out.